Hello students. Today I have recorded one video of carbohydrate. So today we will discuss the occurrence, structure, isolation, properties and function of carbohydrate. One of the carbohydrate, that is cellulose, and the other one is the dextrin. As we have already discussed about starch and the glycogen, right? So what is the cellulose? Actually, that is mostly found in the plant cell wall, as we know. If we see the structure of plant cell, then you can see in this slide there is a this middle lamella and the primary cell wall and then inner plasma membrane. So these are the cellulose microfibrils. Along with this there is a pectin, right? So these are the cellulose microfibrils found in the primary cell wall. So for the isolation, we have to crush all the wood part and isolate this cellulose. So there is a different steps that we will discuss today's lecture. So primarily this cellulose is very strong. So as I mentioned already, that starch and the glycogen, that has the alpha bonding, but on the other hand this cellulose has the beta bonding. So this consists of the long linear chain of the D-glucose with beta 1,4 linkase, and cellulose is the most abundant organic polymer on the earth, right? So every other glucose is flipped over due to its beta linkase. There is a flipping, right? So zigzag multi-layered structure, so that's why it is very strong. So this promotes intrachain as well as interchain hydrogen bond to make it more strong, as well as van der Waals interaction that causes cellulose chain to be straight, rigid and packed with the crystalline arrangement in the thick bundles called microfibrils, right? So these are the linear arrangement of the cellulose, right? So one D-glucose molecule is connected with the other one by 1,4 beta linkase. So there is a zigzag bonding, that is beta linkase, right? So first carbon of the first glucose molecule and the fourth carbon of the second glucose molecule, they are connected through a glycosidic bond, that is called beta 1,4 linkage. So this is also, but in between there is a hydrogen bonding. So these are the one chain and another chain, and there is a hydrogen bonding and van der Waals interaction between these two layers. So, and there is also, right? So this is also a linear multiple layer of the cellulose, right? So in the nature, cotton is the simplest example of uh, cotton is the simplest and purest example of the cellulose that contains more than 90% of the cellulose in the nature. So what about the isolation? How we can isolate the cellulose? So just like in starch processing, the similar way, little bit different, we also follow for the cellulose isolation. So first we have to take the wood and then stripping and chopping of the wood, then impregnate it with the steam and the chemicals, many different kind of the chemicals and steams, and then we digest those impregnated wooden part by the pressure, high temperature, by caustic soda, sodium sulfide, right? So these chemicals actually causes these chemical causes the disintegration of chemically disintegration of the wooden part, and and also disintegration of the lignin part, that is the fiber holding the cellulose microfibrils, and releases of the cellulose fibers, and then further cleaning and washing of those fibers, and then to make it white, more white of the cellulose, we treat it with the different chemicals, so that brightness So if the cellulose is very bright, then its price is also very high. So elemental chlorine free water and the oxygen based bleaching we have to done, and in this process is called delignization, and then we have to treat with the hydrogen peroxide, right? So hydrogen peroxide and the chlorine dioxide treatment to increase the brightness up to 90%. So after increasing the brightness of the cellulose, their price in the market will also rise. And then finally dewatering and drying those cellulose, and finally it will come in the market. So what is the basic steps by the flow diagram? So you have to take the wooden material and then stripping by some machine, and then shredding and sorting small pieces of the wooden material, and then store it in a large scale, and then go for the processing unit. In the processing unit, then you have to disintegration of the wooden in the digester by treating with the different chemicals, right? And then cellulose extraction by liquid recovery by treatment of the hot waters and chemicals along with the chemicals, and then cleaning, and then bleaching to make it more white, right, with different chemicals, and then dewatering, drying of those fibers, and finally we will get the cellulose seeds or the powder form of the cellulose, right? We also make the paper from the cellulose. For that, what we have to do, we have to roll that cellulose with the large press section by the big rollers. So they fine it in a very thin paper like structure. So finally these are the rollers actually. So your paper will roll here, and the water part will come here discharging water, and then it will go to here. So this roll, these are the rollers again rolling, and it will go here, and it will go, I mean this will go here and here like this. So this is the movement of your paper. So after pressing by these so much of the rollers, finally it become a very thin paper, and it will I mean uh, rolled in a or rewind in a proper uh, way actually, and for the further use of this paper. So what is the function? There are many function of the cellulose, that uh, it composed 87 to 90% cotton in the cellulose. With the cotton fibers, we use this in the cotton industry, or the you can say the cloth industry, and in dye building materials we also use, in paper industry we also use, and we cellophane is actually when cellulose reacts with the sulfuric acid, it produces the cellophane, and it is highly impermeable to dry gases and bacteria. So we use the cellophane membrane. So in many cases we also use cellulose trinitrate, that is used as a propellant for the bullets. Nitrate OH group can be explosive. So in the propellant, as a propellant, cellulose we use as a propellant. Right, cellulose has many uses such as anti-cake agent, emulsifier, stabilizer, depressing agents, thickener, gelling agent, and also we use the bioethanol productions, paper production industry, textile industry, construction industry, carbon fibers, reinforced polymers, and the cellulose insulations. Also in home, in the RO system, we use the cellulose based membrane, right, to avoid the bacteria and some small contamination in the water, right? So that is also made up of the cellulose. So there are many modified form of the cellulose that we use in the different industry. Cellulose nitrate, that is the artificial plastic, biodegradable plastic that we use. Cellulose acetate we use in the packaging of the material, packaging, making of the toys, tools, in many cases, and it is the cheapest raw material available on the earth. And ethyl cellulose, that is it is used to make the electrical appliances. Nowadays there is a fine cellulose based electrical appliances actually has come, and then don't easily they don't get the fire. So methyl cellulose, excellent solvent of hide glue and some modern adhesive, used as a modern adhesive, methyl cellulose. So what is the property of the cellulose? It is a non-toxic, biodegradable, solid homo biopolymers, and it is white in color and high tensile, compressive in nature. Cross bonding gives maximum strength and is stable in the thermal conduction and thermal softening, around 230 to 253 degree. Right, it soak water very slowly, 18 to 14%, soluble in organic chemicals, react with the hydrocarbon, alcohol, ketone, acid, etc. So these are the many application, many use of the cellulose. Cellulose is very important for the different industries, right? So it is a major carbohydrate that use in the different part of the life. If you just you start looking the products and their ingredients, where the cellulose, what is the percentage of the cellulose that is found in that material. So more than 90% material is made up of the cellulose in your home. So next carbohydrate is the dextrin. So dextrin is basically the hydrolyzed part of the starch and the glycogen. So as we know, in the starch and the glycogen, so there is a uh, alpha bonding in the starch and the glycogen to make it easily digestible, and the energy molecule for the plant as well as for the animal. So dextrin is the hydrolysis, hydrolyzed part of the starch and the glycogen. So well known, it is made up of the D-glucose that is linked by alpha 1,4 bonding and alpha 1,6 bonding. So alpha 1,4 is the main chain and the alpha 1,6 is the side chain with this glycosidic bond. So what is the structure of this? So you can see here, this is the linear chain of alpha 1,4 bonding, right? This is the linear chain of the one D-glucose. So this one is the D-glucose, this one is the first carbon molecule, first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, and this one is the oxygen connected to the first carbon atom. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth carbon atom. So this first one is connected to the fourth one. So this one is the first, second, third and fourth one. So it make it the alpha 1,4 bonding. So by its sixth carbon atom, it makes the side chain branch chained as like in starch and glycogen. So it make it the alpha 1,6 bonding. So this is the side chain. Again, it has the different alpha 1,4 bonding. Right, but its chain is very small as compared to the starch and the glycogen. Right, so this is the linear form of this structure. So how we can isolate the dextrin? As we know, it's a small hydrolyzed part of the starch, so we can produce from the starch using many enzymes like amylases. Applying dry heat, we can directly, under acidic condition, we can directly get the dextrins. That process is called pyrolysis. That process is called pyrolysis or roasting. So at the industry level, we do it. Surface of the bread, while in the microwave oven we bake the bread, so bread becomes brown and basically it's degrade, it's hydrolyze the long chain of the carbohydrate and gives you the dextrin, and that dextrin is actually change the flavor of the bread, color of the bread and crispiness of the bread. So the taste of the bread totally change because of the dextrin. So this dextrin actually produced by the heat that are also known as the pyrodextrin, right? So there are many use of this dextrins, and by this way we can isolate. So what is the property? Property is just dextrin are the white, yellow or the brown powder. Partially or fully it's a water soluble, optically active solution of the low viscosity, and most of them can be detected with the iodine solution, that we know iodine test is well known for the carbohydrates. and giving a red chlorination. Iodine is for the starch and it is the byproduct of the starch or the small fragment of the starch and giving a red coloration. White and yellow dextrin from the starch roasted with little or no acid are called British gum, that is used in the industry. So what is the function? What is the application of this? So yellow dextrin that are used as a water soluble glue in the envelope. So in the envelope we use water soluble glue, that is basically dextrin, adhesive and paper tube. So binders in the paint, basically it has the very much use in the leather industry as well as in the paint as a binder. As a binder actually it is used. So white dextrin are used as a food processing to enhance the taste of the food, crispiness of the food. We add the dextrin as a food batters, coatings. We use this textile finishing to make it more finishing. I mean, in the textile industry we use as a coating agent actually to increase the weight and stiffness of the textile fibers, coating on the surface, right? So there are many use of the this dextrin in the other field, like thickening and binding agent in the pharmaceuticals and the paper coating in the medicine, added in the fireworks. When we see the sparkles and the pellets or the stars in the while doing the fireworks, so that is the some part of is the dextrin, so that gives in sparkles. So we also use it as a stabilizing agent for certain explosive metals azides, particularly lead azide, right? So due to rebranching, dextrin is is not easily digestible, so it is used as a fiber supplement. So dextrin are the less digestible. Indigestible dextrin are developed as a soluble strand alone as a use as a fiber supplements and for adding to process the food products. So in many cases it is used as a fiber supplements. Right, so this is all about the cellulose and very brief about the dextrin, right? How we can isolate the cellulose, how we can isolate the dextrin, right? What is the application of the cellulose? What is the application of the dextrin? Cellulose has the beta bonding, beta 1,4 bonding, side chain beta 1,6 bonding. On the other hand, dextrin is the byproduct of the starch, hydrolyzed product of the starch and the glycogen that may have the alpha 1,4 and alpha 1,6 bonding. So these are very different, cellulose and dextrin. And then in the next class we will discuss about the inulin and the chitin. Inulin that we'll get from the chicory plant. So this is very important molecule, carbohydrate molecule, that we will discuss in the next class. So if you have any doubt, you can mail me, you can WhatsApp me, or in the Google Classroom section you can also write a comment, right? So thank you very much for watching this video.